separating the truth from the lies, coming at you from underneath the Newton, Georgia, heavily chemtrailed, sun-simulated sky. And that's no lie, folks. About to receive a dose of the shock treatment. Look at this. A miracle teenager survives on his own for almost 6 hours with no Wi-Fi. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a miracle. In what has been hailed as a miracle, one Waterford teenager has reportedly survived in his home with no connection to the internet for almost 6 whole hours. Now, I know this is not true. This is not a real article, but it gives commentary, I think, on the state of society, especially this younger generation where we're at. It's not looking good. I mean, if a teenager went 6 hours without Wi-Fi, it would be amazing. They always got it stuck to they're always just glued to their hands, stuck to their ear. It is, this generation, it's unbelievable what's happening. And I have to, where am I going to place the blame on that? Well, I mean, why does your kid have a 7-year-old have a freaking cell phone? Who's calling them, huh? And what if they give the number out to the wrong person? Then what? All right? They come up missing? Kids don't belong with cell phones. We made it fine without cell phones. We didn't have cell phones I didn't get one till I was in my early 30s, and I got an analog one. I didn't use it that much. But I was definitely no 7-year-old, and even if I had kids, I didn't give them no damn cell phone. What you doing giving your kid a cell phone? 5-year-old. I got some of my family gave their kid when he I forgot how old he was or she was. I think it was 5 years old. Unbelievable, man. Anyway, this article goes on to say that he was wandering around his Dungarvan neighborhood holding a Samsung phone above his head, looking for a signal and muttering incoherently. The emergency services were notified and David was brought to a nearby Starbucks where he hooked up with Wi-Fi. It remains unclear as to how the teen was left without internet for such a long period of time, and a search has begun to find David's parents with fears that they may have other kids without even a single bar of coverage. The neglecting parents, huh? Terrible, huh? Depriving a kid of the internet. David survived without access to any social media or video sharing sites for the better part of an afternoon. This is, I don't know whether to laugh or get pissed off, really, because this is actually, it's pretty bad, the situation out there. We have friends that, when they would come over, we hang out, bring the 14-year-old kid at the time. I mean, that kid didn't say a word. I didn't know if he had vocal cords. He didn't say nothing. I think he was punished one time. You should have seen him. He was a basket case because he couldn't have a cell phone. Kept pestering his mother. It's unbelievable. And that's all he did was stay on the cell phone the whole time. So not only is he radiating himself, just like these other teenagers, but, it's turning them into mush. Mush. So he had no gifts, no memes, no porn. Yeah, what are your kids looking at when they're on the internet? How do you know when they got a cell phone? You don't know, do you? You don't know. Let me tell you something. I had kids, and when they got on social media, when they got older, they went the way of the world. They went the way of the world. I guess I wasn't militant enough. I wasn't. I trusted them, and that's that they were not going to be sheeple, which they turned out to be. Sad but true. But this article, I know it's not real, but it's a sad commentary, even though it's making light of the situation. That these teenagers really, they can't handle it without the cell phones, and that's all they do is they stay on this thing. I mean, what is so interesting that they're constantly on their cell phone? It's unbelievable. I'm afraid we're already there. We do have a generation of idiots. Now, not every single person in this younger generation is an idiot. I've come across some with their head screwed on straight, but those are the ones that are not constantly glued to their cell phone. For the most part, we have a generation of idiots, and it's not even just the teenagers. Have you taken a look at how they're parking lately? No, seriously, you need to get a little more sensitive to your environment, aware, I should say, of what's going on. The behavior of people has gotten worse. It's worse on the roads with dangerous drivers. They're taking up 2 parking spots, especially over here at the Kroger Shopping Center in Thomas Crossroads. They're parking like they're drunk. A slap drunk. I mean, it's unbelievable what they're doing. And it is the dumbing down of society. And this is helping the dumbing down society. Why are they texting so much? What is it so important that your kids have to be texting all the time? Or are they sexting? Because I know that's what they do too, right? How many stories have you heard of them sending naked pictures to this person, that person, and getting busted or whatever. Or someone discovers it and, makes light, brings it to the light. A lot of times, right, they get in trouble in school and shit like that. Because you're giving your kids technology that they don't know how to control. And you know what? I tried to keep mine from having it for a long time. And it was a battle, because all the peer pressure of, if you don't have a cell phone, well, you kind of like, well, all the other ones have it, why can't I have it? Because you don't need it. What do you need a cell phone for? What does a teenager need one for? First of all, they're in school for 8 hours a day. If there's an emergency, they go to the front office and they call home, just like we did, like E.T., damn it. What they are doing is they're on there and they're constantly hooking up with questionable people. Not always, but it happens a lot. Questionables. And you could have predators out there preying on them. And then what are they doing with their cell phone? What kind of profile pictures are the ladies, are the gals putting up? Huh? Are they putting up half naked, parading around on social media? That's a real great way to get the wrong person's attention, a predator's attention. And they're doing it at a younger age because these kids have phones, and it's like the phone is the babysitter. The parents toss phones at them to babysit them, and they're always looking down. This kind of reminds me of always like Nostradamus when he peered into that dish, that bowl. Some people call it a scry mirror. It's not good. And the posture alone, they're saying about the neck, the effect that it has on the posture in the neck, it's not good. But you also see that this is a generation of LOLs, TTYLs, and stuff like that. They can't carry on a normal, in-depth conversation. The attention span of a goldfish, they start fidgeting. They're not processing the conversation the way a normal, intelligent person would. And then they're getting GMO'd. Oh, this is the selfie generation. This is the second Timothy generation, no doubt. There's no doubt about it. But, if they're getting fed GMOs, especially in school, and GMOs at home, if the parents are tossing them GMOs and also the fast food, these kids don't have a chance, man. Vaccines, 70 of them by the time they're 18? Unbelievable. Have you checked out section 13 of the pamphlet they don't give you? Vaccines not tested for impairment, infertility, not tested for carcinogenic potential, not tested for mutagenic potential, I guess, of the DNA. Formaldehyde and aluminum for starters in there. Is that good? Why are you giving little Johnny and Susie poison? I just got to ask you that. Why are you giving them a cell phone so they can radiate themselves? So they can potentially get hooked up with the dark side. As Ron Johnson of Stranger Than Fiction would say, more often than not. More often than not. All right? That's why in that article at the beginning, it said he went 6 hours without sharing social media sites or sharing sites, whatever, and porn. Why would they toss that word in it? It's because this is what they does. Not all of them, but this is the grave danger of that's lurking out there. They could get hooked on that, and you'll be none the wiser. Plus the texting. I call those silent conversations. Just what are they saying when they're texting? Or is it sexting? What are they saying, parents? Do you know? All I know is I see a bunch of fools at a dinner table at a restaurant, the whole family looking down. So it's not just the teenagers. It's also, listen, I know a guy that at the gym works for Delta. Great, clean-cut family. Or so you thought. The worst thing he did was give his wife an iPad one year. She wanted one, he got her one, against his better judgment. And guess what? He went through the big D, and I don't mean Dallas. That's all she was on that freaking iPad all the damn time. They had no conversation. There are no conversations with these freaking cell phones. No real ones in real space, real time. Not in person anyway. And so their marriage grew apart. I mean, they were both in one bubble, two people in one bubble, I call it. And then the bubble became separated. They've gotten their own separate worlds because she withdrew with the freaking iPad. The infertility pad. I wonder what her condition is, fertility. They don't, and you try to tell people this about the radiation and stuff, and they don't care. They just don't. It's unbelievable, but I do. But this is the cell phone generation. This is the selfie generation. This is the second Timothy 3 generation. Look how important they are, or think they are. They all think they're a celebrity. They all think how many likes they get. Believe me, I got kids. I see them, even though they're in 20s. I got one that's just a like hound. Gotta have the likes. Gotta have the likes. I think it's just a low self-esteem, right? You gotta have 109 likes. You gotta parade around half naked. Parents, what are your kids' daughters doing parading around half naked? I'm gonna be honest with you. There are some out there, but the ones that I've seen personally, on my profile, because I've taught some students that are now, they're grown up. They're like 20 now or older. They've never conducted themselves like that, but there are some that do, and even with our own family. And you try to tell them, look, this is not the way to conduct yourself on the internet. You make yourself look trashy. In one ear and out the other. Selfish. Gotta have the likes. Gotta show the tattoo on the derriere. Gotta show the tattoo on the ribs, huh? It's unbelievable, man. But if your kid's living under your roof, you should be monitoring what they're doing. You should have control over what they're doing on social media, what they're watching on TV, and definitely not watching fake news like that. Come on, folks. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Kids with cell phones, 10 years old, younger. So you're starting them off real good, parents. Starting them off not only get hooked on this like that, and that's all they're going to do, but also they're radiating themselves at a younger age. Congratulations. Yeah, they'll be twitching too. They'll be twitching. All this friggin' juice going in the body, friggin' damn, radiation. And I guess you're going to give them the 5G phone when it comes out, huh? So they get some extra zap. It's unbelievable, man. You better know what's going on in the environment. You got to know what your kids are doing. This is the selfie generation, which means selfish. This is 2 Timothy 3. But if you're out there and you care about radiation, you want to know what your environment looks like, then you need to get one of these. Folks, go to stfnreport.com//product, and you'll see the EMF detector 390, the EMF 390. I'm trying to get this words at the bottom here off. The heck is wrong with this website? But headed up by Ron Johnson, or John Rodson as he's called himself now, Stranger Than Fiction News. Also subscribe to Stranger Than Fiction News, STFN, on YouTube, CensorTube. But take a look at this. This is the EMF 390. I don't know why I keep getting at the bottom. It says close and accept. I just pressed close, accept, and it's not responding. I don't know if you can see it on your end, but this is the EMF 390. I'm going to get me one of these. They're $109, and for what it does is phenomenal. Ron Johnson on Stranger Than Fiction News, he's promoting this thing big time, and you know what? I got to get my mitts on this, because I have a cheapy one, which it does the trick as far as EMF and radiation, in the home and stuff like that. But it's not going to pick up the cell towers. But take a look at the radiation here, right? Take a look at the radiation your kids are getting, and you too, if you're putting it by your ear. Shame on you for giving your kids a radiation tool, an infertility pad, an iPad. You better do your research. You better get one of these EMF 390s for $109, advanced tri-field meter. What about the cell towers, huh? How far is the cell tower from you? Is one right there by your workplace? Wouldn't you like to know if you're getting hammered by radiation? I mean, what if you woke up one day, 5 years from now, with the C word that rhymes with answer, and you never entertained this, you never bothered finding out about your environment? That would be on you, right? That would be your fault, because we're here right now telling you, get the detector, get the cell phone away from your body, take that cell phone away from your kids, man. They don't need to be getting hammered by radiation. They don't need to be talking to the dark side either. The freaking cell phones. I mean, it's bad enough these parents are giving their kids wet behind the ears, 16-year-old kids, hot rods as soon as they turn 16. You kidding me? They didn't earn their stripes. They got to cut their teeth on something a little slower than that. Hold on there, parents. And then on top of it, you're getting them these radiation devices called cell phones and infertility pads, iPads. You need to know what's going on. You need to know about your environment. The EMF 390, what is that cell tower doing? Wi-Fi, and they have fiber optics they're rolling out, the backbone of 5G, which is going to radiate the hell out of everything all the more. This is what you need right now. You need to know the hot zones, not only in your home, but in your town, wherever you go. As Ron Johnson would say, don't leave home without it. One of these would cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do what this one does for $109. stfnreport.com/product, the EMF 390. Get yours today and don't leave home without it. Until next time you receive the shock treatment.